Taylor's was founded in 1886 by a small tea and coffee importer, Charles Taylor. It was bought by Betty's in 1962 and since then has grown to be the large national and multinational tea and coffee business that we know today. We employ just over 400 people, spread about half in the factory and distribution operations that we have and the other half in the office across the various functions like sales, marketing, finance and last but not least, sourcing. Being a family business allows us to take a long-term view in terms of investment decisions, but also it means that we look at relationships for the long term with our suppliers, with our customers and with our people here within the business. But it also reflects on the culture of the business. We have a very friendly feel about the place, which people often comment on when they come here, a real family feel about the business.
Once our tea and coffee is purchased and approved, the supplier arranges for it to be containerised and then books the movement with the shipping line to be boarded on the next available vessel. PD Ports Logistics then handle customs clearance and release from the shipping line to enable PD Billingham to schedule the unloading of our tea and coffee. The warehouse is 115,000 square feet in size and can hold up to 6,500 pallets of tea and coffee.
The wagon from the PD port arrives at Taylor's. He puts his curtain back, we unload the wagon off, check the teas off, we take them off with the forklift, go direct into the factory and check them and put them into the racking. We take samples of tea and coffee to make sure that the tea and coffee is up to quality and standard.
There's a real buzz around the office because we have an open plan office environment that faces onto the factory and people can walk between the factory to the office to the factory, and we encourage people to work cross-functionally and to take responsibility for projects and the environment very much facilitates that. The Staff Cafe, apart from the food which is absolutely fabulous, the Staff Cafe provides a hub where people can meet and interact socially between the factory and the offices and the various functions within the offices, but also it's a place where they have business meetings and can have a business meeting over a cup of Yorkshire tea or Taylor's coffee.
Relationships are really important to Taylor's. We're a values-based business and we have a strong commitment to people, be that our employees or our customers or the people in our supply chains. And I think to us it's about building strong, long-term and ethical relationships with producers on the ground. And really seeing the value that that approach brings to both Taylor's and producers is really rewarding. And you know what, it's just a great way to work. And I think with relationships being so important to us, it's difficult to maintain those from a desk in Harrogate. So for us, we try and travel as much as possible, visit as many producers as we can, and really try to gain an understanding of the complexities and the challenges that our farmers face. And I think investing with our farmers on addressing some of those challenges is really the ultimate motive for us.
We look for a number of different attributes to make a proper brew. We look for a tea with good body and depth, and a tea with good flavour and briskness, and also a tea that looks really bright and golden and looks really good in the cup. We test this by tasting hundreds, sometimes even up to 1,500 teas per day to assess the very best quality throughout the world. We value the relationships with our suppliers enormously, and most of the tea that we buy is direct. We know many producers personally, and many will make tea just for us, bespoke to our specifications.
I mean, coffee cupping is the tasting of the coffee here. It's only part of the quality assessment that we do for the coffees we receive from our suppliers. Obviously we're looking at the green beans to making sure that they're really good and sound, not too many defects, good size. And then we'll be roasting and tasting it as well to look at the body, the flavour, the acidity and the aroma, and really assessing the quality that our producers are growing for us. Obviously we're buying coffee, it's in its raw bean form, it just comes in green from the mills, from our producers' origin, and we need to roast that. In that form it doesn't taste or anything, so we're roasting it. Some of my colleagues will roast that up in the tasting room. then we'll be cupping that, and only when it's roasted does it really develop the flavours that you need and the body and the acidity. So really, once it's roasted, we'll cup it and make sure it's really where we want it to be. Yes, we've got 4 Q graders in the team. It's the highest accreditation for a coffee taster at the moment. It's more like a master of wine, to be honest with you. The exam is really a coffee marathon. There's 22 different exams to pass over 3 to 5 days. And there can be quite a lot of pressure, not only with your colleagues passing previous years, but also a lot of peers in the industry tasting the exam with you. But it's really something that's worked for us fantastically with our producers. There's a lot of Q graders with our producers, and we have a common language now where we can talk about the quality of the coffee together.
Tea blending involves us bringing the tea in here from Tea Sport. Once we have the tea here, we need to blend it, so we put it through our blending process, which involves screening. So we screen the tea, it takes out any foreign bodies. We then put it into a blending drum where it's revolved 12 times. This gives us a good balance between actually not breaking the leaf up too much and making the tea a good blend. From there, it's fed to production in tote bins. Each tote bin will feed the machine that requires that tea on that day. The tea is then fed through to the machines. The machines we've got here are capable of producing 28,000 tea bags every minute, which is just around 1,600,000 an hour. Once it's gone into the machine, we actually make the tea bag, put it into the box, and the box is then put through our process and put into a case. It's then fed into our palletising system, where it's put onto a pallet ready for dispatch. The coffee process involved here at Taylor's is we get the green bean in, and it comes into our green bean in area. We actually put that through a screening process to take out any stones or twigs that may be in the green bean. It's then fed through to our silo, ready to be blended and roasted. It goes into one of our 2 roasters. One can roast 300 kilos at a time, the other 150. It's then, once it's roasted, it's fed into a tote bin ready for production. Once it's been fed into production, the coffee goes to the machine. The first thing that happens is it gets ground. It goes through our grinders and gets packed straight into the pack. As it's going through that process, we use nitrogen to cool the grinders to give us a really consistent grind. But we also use nitrogen to purge the pack, and that, along with the CO2 given off by the ground coffee, will drive out any oxygen through the valve at the front of the pack to make sure that the coffee stays fresh. It's then put into boxes and palletised and again ready for dispatch. We store all our finished goods up at our bespoke warehouse up at St James. All of the goods that we produce here go up there. They store it up there and they dispatch that all over the country to all our customers.
In terms of market share, Yorkshire Tea, it has over 20% market share and growing really quickly, soon be the number 2 brand in the market. In terms of filter cafetiere coffee, Taylor's of Harrogate is the number 1 brand. It's got over 30% market share and is in a really strong position. And in terms of our new market, fruit and herbal teas, our Q range now has 2%, small but growing really quickly. Yorkshire Tea is about doing things properly. We're a proper brew that makes a proper difference, and we're proudly from Yorkshire. In terms of coffee, we have a vision about being the leading voice in seriously good coffee. From our sourcing, blending and roasting, we really lead the market when it comes to quality. When it comes to advertising, it played a huge part growing Yorkshire Tea. We've had some fantastic adverts over the years where we've been celebrating our proper brew and what a difference it makes. It's great because we use as many of our staff as possible, and in the last TV advert it was a great day where we really celebrated Yorkshire Tea. In terms of coffee, a little bit different. This is about a sensory experience of coffee, about the experience of drinking seriously good coffee. We've appeared on TV with a stunningly visual Welcome to Coffee campaign.
The future's really exciting at Taylor's in terms of new product development for us. For the first time we have a dedicated innovation team, which is great, so we can be really focused on the consumer trends and explore them closely, working with our suppliers in terms of blend development, flavours, etc. We can also get closer to consumer behaviour and understand how changes in technology and lifestyle dictate their purchasing of products in the hot drinks category. So hopefully soon, over the next few years, we can create perfect products for the changing macro trends.
you.